afternoon. We'll be meeting upstairs. We have a cyber defense room right next to Mike's office. The big thing that the cyber defense team does, what's the next slide?
The next slide is benefits.
Okay. Cut the 6 or 8 down to 2.
It was hard to find.
All right.
Yeah, I can
the big thing that the cyber defense does is prepare for the cyber defense competition. This year, the cyber defense competition is going to be at Kennesaw State. It's going to be over spring break, and it's right in the middle of spring break. So what it does is we go up on Tuesday. We get there at noon from 12 to 8. We run through what's called the red team, or the offensive actions that are coming at the team. Don't take place on the first day. It's basically an off day that allows them to gain knowledge of how their network is set up, how their systems are set up, run any patches, any configurations that they want to do. And then the second day, which is a full day, that runs basically from 8 to 8, so 16 hours, 12 hours, is an attack day. That's when the red team is able to come at you. You're going to get business injects from the gold team. The white team is doing judging. And then on the third day, it's basically a half a day of the same of what you had the day before on the full day, and then it's a wrap up, clean up, and then they give you an assessment at the end and let you know how you stood. The big thing is the takeaways from. Yeah, go ahead. So on the very first day, these are some of the things that they're looking at, and you start looking at the tasks that this is to get done before Friday. Friday's like that. We call it the half day. So before they walk in on Tuesday at 12 o'clock, these are the things they should have already done, or these are the things as soon as they get there they need to start doing. Okay, and if you look at it, it's quite a bit of stuff. It takes, I don't know if if you know what you're doing and you know how to set it up, just this task right here, from scratch, takes about 3 hours. And that's just to get the basic thing up and running. And that's someone who's competent and efficient in setting it up. So there's a lot of things that go on. Can you show the next one? So on Friday, this is what goes on. I'll tell you that from the security standpoint and being able to run the different servers and the operating systems and the applications and the services, I think as a whole we do pretty well, probably a little bit above average. Where we get nailed and where we lose is the business injects, the business management process of the team during that 3-day activity, and then wouldn't you say that's about it? It's usually the business and the operations side of things, which we don't really teach in the computer science department in the IST program. We basically teach you all, some of the other things. So you'll see here, something as simple as read the business policy.
Yeah.
They would be rather, instead of reading the business policy, they'd rather be setting up the router and the firewall. But it's the business policies that cause us to lose things. Next. This is what the simulated network looks like. Basically, they give you a broken network that's got all the flavors of Unix, all the flavors of Windows, and one year we even had some MacBooks. And during the competition, the team isn't supposed to talk to me, but that year that they had MacBooks, I was at a vending machine, and I remember one of the students coming up next to me. He was going at the vending machine too. He's like, "Dr. Rich, how do you open the CD-ROM on a MacBook?" How do you right-click? It's only got one button. Next slide. So here's some points that they always try to improve on: their individual skills, planning and processing, learning how to deal with the injects and the business processes. But it takes a lot of dedication and a lot of time. So was that it? Lessons learned. So biggest thing is the inject process, documenting what they've learned, and just working workarounds is the biggest thing. Keeping those services up, and Every year we've had some world-class red team hackers come in, and they do a lot of recruiting. But we've had PricewaterhouseCoopers, we've had the FBI, Ernst & Young, big companies, big six companies out there in the consulting business that come in there, and they're the ones that attack the system. The PricewaterhouseCoopers, and I'll stop here. That year that we had them, it was really unfair because they had access to a Cray computer in England. So the first day they were there, they went around and got all the password hashes off all the systems, and then they sent the files off to their Ernst & Young office in England and ran it through the Cray computer. And at the end of the competition, they put a PowerPoint up and showed everyone's password from all the schools.
Nice.
Who's got
I
that?
didn't see Mercer's up there.
Were you there that year? Yeah. I don't know. They put them all up there. I was impressed. And this is like people that, they use special characters, no rhyme or reason to the passwords, and passwords that were uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and the passwords were 20 characters long. And they ran it through that Cray computer. They had them the next morning. But, any questions?
Thanks, Dr. Rich. I think my favorite separate to the story is where they had to have the hazmat suits.
Yeah.
That was they had to learn how to put on hazmat. Well, I'm
Did you see the picture of Josiah trying to put it on?
yeah.
That's funny.
They had a limited amount of time to put the hazmat suit on. If they didn't, they had to go to a contamination area and leave their group for a certain amount of time. So you can imagine how hectic that could be if you were, trying to get that on within. Do you remember how much time it was? They had
60 seconds.
60 seconds to get on a full hazmat suit. There. All right, and then Dr. Allen's going to come up and tell you how you can be involved in the Mercer Creative Computer Camp.
I'm just going to tell you what the Mercer Creative Computer Camps are, and then I'll open the door. I will be looking for people to work there. For the last several years, Mercer's offered a computer camp for young people. Last year, we actually went down to 8-year-olds. That's the youngest we've gone, and then we survived. So we are going to go from 8 years up to 13 this year. Last year, in the past, we've had high school kids, but not many high school kids come to camp, summer camp. So we've only had like 2 or 3 high school kids in each camp, and they don't like hanging out with the middle school kids. So, we get kids together, and we have different themes like robotics, and you want to program a robot, or some animations and graphic stuff, Photoshop-y stuff, movie stuff. Last year we had 4 themes. We had the robots, the animation, like Scratch and Alice. You want to hear of Alice? Scratch. Multimedia, which was really Photoshop and Audacity and sound editing, movie editing, and then smartphone stuff. So we just have a week for each one of those. The kids come in, they play with stuff, they have fun. We eat popcorn or we eat snacks a lot. We eat a lot of sugar. We eat lunch, and we have a lot. It's a lot of fun. And we're doing it again this summer. The schedule's not out yet, but we're narrowing it down to about 4 different weeks during the summer. Each camp is 1 week long, 5 days, from like 8:30 till 3:30. We change that. 5 days. The different things. This summer we still haven't settled exactly on the things. We'll do robots. We'll probably do an intro to robots and advanced robots. We'll do because that's the one that the kids love. They just come in, they go wild with it. And in our introduction to robots, what we did is we did the Legos. That's the most popular one. But we also have these Pico crickets, which are small little robot-y type things, and something called a scribbler. Scribbler is just this little thing you can drive around on the ground, but it has a hole in the middle you can put a pen in, so you have to drive it on paper and just scribble. So you can program it to drive in certain patterns and draw certain things. A couple girls made a nice spirograph type thing. So we actually made a frame, a wooden frame, we put this scribbler in, and they programmed it to draw stuff, and they made loops and patterns, and they started doing spirography things. It was really cool. And was there another Pleo? We have this Pleo, the dinosaur. We only have one of them, so it's hard to share.
Right.
But yeah, there's Pleo. Here's Thorn over here. This is actually one of my camp kids. That was one of my camp teachers. Y'all know that guy?
Not sure.
That's Chip. He was a camp counselor. You know this guy?
Yeah.
I like to let it grow out.
That's just what I did shade one day. And you know this guy?
Yeah.
So he's in the back room. He was a teacher one camp.
I've been a couple times.
A couple times?
Yeah. Haven't you?
Do you have any sweet new ideas this year?
We have tons of ideas, but we haven't finalized anything. We're probably taking away smartphone. It doesn't bring as many kids in, and it's hard to get 8-year-olds playing on smartphones very long. The multimedia, this class went over really well. They really went wild with GIMP. It's all done in GIMP. And we actually did some, I think we're going to do some, you think like jelly beans?
Something sweet?
Something sweet. I am so slow. We're thinking in the multimedia class we're going to do this jelly bean art, where you take a sort of an animated GIF or stop motion video where you can take a picture of some jelly beans and then move them a little bit, take a picture of some jelly beans and move them a little bit, and so you get to put it together into an animation that is.
Should build a chest set out brownies and Hershey's
Just do what?
Kisses. Build a chest set out brownies and Hershey's Kisses.
Just set out of brownies and Hershey Kisses.
White is white chocolate brownies, black is black chocolate brownies. You have Christmas slides and Hershey's Kisses.
Okay.
I've got models in my room.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we do these in the summers, and and I will be looking for our camp counselors to work in them. And so if anyone's interested in the summertime job, talk to me, and we can see what we can do. Thank you.
Okay, and now Levi thought to me.
I know you did. I'm sure you did.
So this is from this is just a little blurb about Google I/O 2012.
Spread you in real well, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's at one the party they had tonight.
That's the guy from the movie Thorn, isn't it?
Yeah. Shaved, yeah. Basically, I've talked about Google I/O 2011 quite a bit, so I'm going to keep this brief, for me anyway, brief. Just an overview of what Google I/O is. It's a conference where developers get together and talk about things such as App Engine, Android, Google Web Toolkit, Chrome, HTML5. Basically, the things that we talk about at Mugtug, they have a talk for that at Google I/O. I wanted to talk about today. That's good. Because they changed around some of the dates since the last time I talked. It's now June 27th to 29th. The reason they did that is a lot of developers wanted to go to see more events, but they're all at the same time, so they couldn't. So they've extended it to 3 days instead of 2, and that's the earliest they could get conferences in Oregon. This is the first year they're actually doing 3 days, so it's 3 days of fun. But it's a great way to learn a lot and meet a lot of developers. I went last year, and I didn't know much about web development, but I still learned a lot from it. Kind of sparked my interest for this year's web development stuff I've been doing. Registration date and pricing are still to be announced. By that I mean the pricing's to be announced. They don't really announce the date of the registration. Usually it's just kind of a mad dash to the computers. You get kind of a sense of like maybe the week it'll come out, but you kind of just have to be lucky with it. However, I've seen a couple places mention that a couple of the Google I/O heads talked about having a programming element to your registration this year, which so it could be a good or a bad thing. So it's not a mad dash, but then you really have to know your stuff then. So they said I think the quote was brush up on your programming skills for the registration process. Which I think is weird if they didn't, unless they had like different sections, because someone might be there just for web, like Chrome development, and they wouldn't know as much about Android or vice versa. So you want a little bit of every developer. So I can't see them doing just one like section of the programming part.
Well, after the regular registration last year, they did have some program offs.
Okay.
They would say today is going to be the Chrome program off, and today's
Okay.
the Android.
So they might, but that, I kind of like, it's one of those things I like the idea, but at the same time nervous about it, but it might help make things not as, oh, you didn't get on within 30 minutes, well, better luck next year, because that kind of stuff. But it'll keep, I think they're going to try to keep people from going just to get free things, and enjoy the conference. It's a great conference to go to. I love it. I really hope I get to go again this year. These are just some websites for some of the activities we talked about. Do you know if there's a cyber defense website, Dr. Rich?
Yeah.
There is? Okay.
I'll have to send it to you.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about finding some place online to put this slideshow of information and the cyber defense one also. So these are just some websites. Each one has more information.